god, she's finally here. What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going through everything you need to know about Evanescia, the newest character coming to Honkai Star Rail. Now, as a heads up, this is an early release review. It is on the creator experience server, so everything in this video is subject to change, but I cannot wait to show you this character. She is so sick. And of course, seeing a Yai XP in HSR is also really, really cool. So, I mean, look at that idol. Oh my gosh, dude. With that being said, I've really enjoyed playing this character, and if you really enjoy this content, or if you really enjoy ReZero, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I don't cover ReZero on this channel, but if you like ReZero like me, then I can tell you're probably a great contributor to the community as a whole, you know, and we like people like you around here. So anyways, with all that being said, let's just get right into it. My name is Braxophone. You can call me Brax. Let's talk about Evanescia. All right, so I'm gonna actually showcase the character and walk you through exactly how she plays. With that said, I am gonna show you the build we're going with. Now, I am using a 4-star battle pass light cone. The reason is I literally have 3 4-star light cones. This one sucks, and we also have the free Herta Shop light cone. I have managed to go basically completely free to play adjacent except for the battle pass light cone, but that is the best thing we're gonna do. If it helps you feel better though, we're overcapping on crit rate. She does get a free 30% crit rate in game, and this gives 20%. So we're like well over the amount of crit rate we need to have by an extra 20%. And that's how much this thing provides. So, you know, I'm losing like half the effect of it if it helps you feel better. Anyways, I am gonna be running this light cone today's good luck to give her some elation bonus. And in addition to that, we're going to be running her on Everglorious Magical Girl, Hunklord Stage 0, crit damage, speed, boots, attack orb, energy regen rope, and let's get into it. All right, so our showcase will be in Memory of Chaos with Evanescia, Yao Guang, Huohuo, and Trailblazer. Now, as free-to-play friendly as I want to make this, Evanescia is a member of the Elation cult, basically. So all of the teammates around her are going to need to be Elation if you want to get the most out of her. But with that said, Huohuo can be obtained for free with the Gold Companion Spirit, and Trailblazer is also, I mean, they're the main characters, so you have them, right? The only character that you would need to replicate what I'm doing here is Yao Guang, and let's get into it. Yeah, dude, that technique is so cool. So before we get into it, just so you can see, these are the light cones we're running. Mushy Shroomies Adventure is 4-star one. It's going to increase elation and also give enemies a debuff that makes them take more elation damage, which is really, really helpful. You can actually stack this and use multiple of them to my knowledge. So it's a very good light cone. You'll probably want to run multiple of them. And then we have the Herta Shop light cone, which is going to increase the attack of Elation MC by 40%, which helps with their buff, and then increases her elation as well. And then Huohuo is on post-op conversation. So now that you know what light cones we're using, let's get into the easy stuff. And by easy stuff, I mean how Evanescia actually works. So you may have noticed right off the bat in the bottom left, there's a couple things going on with Evanescia down here. So first off, there's a second little orb circle next to her ultimate. This is because she actually can store 2 ultimates at a time, and it's not a tiered ultimate like Argenti. It's like 2 ultimates that can both be stacked on top of each other, and they are exactly the same either way. So this actually allows for quite a bit of unique plays with her compared to some of the other characters. Not like any character in HSR is particularly hard to play or grasp, but in this case, there's a little bit more skill expression with Evanescia because she does have 2 ultimates that you can use at any time, and there actually is a point to storing them and saving them. And here's why. So her ultimate is going to dish out some physical damage, and with her talent that I'll go over in just a moment, it will also do elation damage. But one thing you might notice is it says then deals 5 instances of damage, with each instance of damage dealing physical damage equal to 120% of Evanescia's attack to 1 random enemy target. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is kind of like a bounce skill. And when you look at her passive down here, get 30% crit rate, which I already showed you guys, I'm overcapped on. But when there's 2 or 1 enemy targets, her ultimate bounce count increases by 1 or 2 or 4. So basically, if there's 1 enemy, you're actually getting more damage overall on the main intended target. And if there's multiple enemies, you're actually getting less specifically boss targeted damage. The damage might bounce to other enemies on the other side of the field and not hit the boss as much, which could actually be detrimental. So in some cases, it can be worth it to save up 2 ults, wipe out some of like the ad waves, and then drop the second ult on 1 enemy before they call in more ads or something like that. So that's just kind of one example. You can hold at least one of her ultimates. When you get to the second one, you might want to burn one, but it just depends on where you're at in the game, right? Now, another thing that you might have noticed is that she actually has a ridiculous amount of certified banger. Her certified banger state's really easy. You basically are 100% of the time going to have this up, and it basically just makes it so skill, ultimate, and her follow-up attacks all deal extra physical elation damage. I mean, she is an elation character, so that makes sense. But she has a lot of certified banger. You might be wondering, Brax, why does she have 291? She hasn't even attacked yet. Well, here's why. If you go and look at her talent, it is a wall of text. I'm not going to read it out loud to you. I'm going to explain it the simple way, which is anytime she gains an energy, she gains a certified banger. Anytime she gains certified banger, she gains an energy. So these 2 values are connected, and every time you use your skill, you're going to end up getting like 30 certified banger because you would get 30 energy, right? And so you're going to instantly get that there, and it's going to stack up really quickly. The same thing applies with her ult, but that's actually not the only thing. She also gets certified banger from other things as well, because she also has a couple passives that steal steal certified banger from your allies. And I mean literally steal. I don't mean copy. I mean, she takes them from your allies. So to make this easy, each Elation character is going to have a participant ID attached to their Elation skill. Hers is 146. Yao Guang's is going to be 116. Elation MC is 120. So what that means is that the lowest number in an AHA instant is going to go first. So Yao Guang will go, and then Elation MC will go, and then Evanescia will go. And anytime that a character with an Elation skill uses their Elation skill and has a participant ID lower than Evanessia's, she takes 50% of it and turns it into her own certified bangers. So she's a little thief and she steals things, which I think is really fitting for like someone that works with, you know, the tricky fox or whatever motif you want to reference there. In her talent, she also has one that makes it so when teammate's certified banger ends, Evanescia converts 50% of it into her own certified banger. So certified banger kind of has like a turn countdown. So for example, Elation MC's is going to disappear in 2 turns. After 2 turns, this 20 that she has 10 of it will be converted to Evanessia's certified banger. And by proxy, because she's gaining that certified banger, she's also getting energy. So keep in mind, after every one of your teammates moves and they lose a certified banger, Evanescia is going to be getting energy from that as well. So it's really easy to get her fully maxed out in her energy, especially when you're playing characters like Ho-Ho. Also in her talent, it talks about how you can get her follow-up attacks and how her crit damage works. Essentially, she gains elation equal to 20% of her crit damage. So if you have 200% crit damage on her, she's gaining 40 elation based off of this talent. So you actually do want to give her a ton of crit damage. However, you still do want crit rate on her. Like, that is still important. It just means that you can put a lot of emphasis into crit damage, and because of this passive, you're going to get 30 crit rate anyways, so that should help out with that. Every 240 energy will trigger a Fox follow-up attack, which will also gain you 10 energy, which is also 10 certified bangers. So nice and easy to understand once you know what converts to what. Also, whenever the Master Fox uses an attack, it'll inflict vulnerability on the target, and it hits all of the enemies. So essentially, they will get a damage taken increase, which helps your entire team. And real quick, I am recording this in post actually, because I realized I forgot to tell you what the elation skill actually does. It deals elation damage to enemies and gains 5 certified banger, and her skill gains 10 punchline points, which will later get converted to banger. So the cool thing with her skill here is that her elation skill is going to give you 5 energy, but it's also going to give you 5 certified banger. And since one is equal to the other, you're actually getting 10 certified banger and 10 energy when you use her elation skill. So she actually does get more value out of this than it seems like. That was the only thing I missed, I think. So let's get back to the other stuff. So let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and basic attack on Yao Guang. We're going to skill on Ho-Ho and instantly ult. And this will give us almost 100 energy on Evanescia. Actually, the amount of energy she's going to be getting from this is absurd. And Yao Guang can now ult right away, which is going to give Evanescia not only a ton of energy, but it's also going to give her a ton of certified banger. So right at the end of this, that jumps up and she steals it. She gets a bunch of energy. Now she's at 89% to her second ultimate. Now we're going to go ahead and skill with the MC. We're at 95%. She's going to overcap here, but I want her to have all of the buffs before we ult. So Fox attacks applies a vulnerability. All right. Oh, and so one other cool thing is when she ults, she's also getting 5 certified banger, because that's also going to give her 5 energy back. So we can go ahead and use this, and I'll use it in normal speed just so you guys can see it. God, what a cool animation. I'm such a big fan. And it did a pretty decent amount of damage too. We're still on her turn, so we could ult again, but I'm actually just gonna hold on to it. We'll keep going. So we'll go ahead and do her skill. I mean, man, that is so cool. And she has 508 certified banger right now, which is absurd. We're getting the MC's attack. And remember, at the end of this, she'll get a bunch of energy and banger from everyone that's being converted. She's basically stealing it from them. She has 649. Now, certified banger is going to affect the elation damage that she deals. So it's kind of important for her to get a ton of this. So that way she can just dish out like a ridiculous amount of damage. And she'll be able to do it very, very soon. We're going to go and basic attack here. Skill on Ho-Ho. Skill on MC. And now that the Fox is attacked and also generated 10 energy for her and 10 banger, we are fully capped, and this is before her turn has come up. Now keep in mind, because we have 2 targets, we're doing more damage than if there was like way more targets on the field. We did 1.3 mil. And let's see if we can use our last one on 1 target to make it a little bit easier for us to basically execute them. All right, so now all of the AHA instants are going to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and trigger this right now, even though we don't necessarily need it. I just want to make sure that we are for sure killing them before the cycle turns over. And here we go. We got our ult. Boom, 1.4 mil. Gonna Ho-Ho ult immediately. The Fox is going to attack and apply a vulnerability. We're gonna skill. We'll skill on Yao Guang. We'll get the AHA instant as well. Oh, not yet, not yet. Let's see if we can do... Oh, we got the Super Wolf passive. We're good. We're chilling. Skill here. I actually don't need to skill on MC, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna make Evanescia act once. Now, I'm actually doing something here that you might be like, wait, Brax, why would you ult here? That doesn't make sense. You only have 341 certified banger. Well, there's actually a crucial thing that I haven't mentioned to you guys yet, and that is that her ultimate is always going to take into account the max energy of her kit. And this is at a bare minimum. So we are always getting 480 no matter what. So you can use her ult when you don't have 480 and it's still okay. I would still suggest, generally speaking, trying to save up till you have a higher amount, because you can usually sit around 400 to 600. And in some cases, if you play your cards right, you can end up with like 900 certified banger, right? But in this case, it's okay for us to use this because I'm afraid of overcapping after getting all the energy from others and all these extra attacks. And we already do guarantee that we have the 480. So go ahead and ult Kafka here. There are 3 enemy targets, which means that we are not doing as much damage as we possibly could. But overall, there's a method to my madness here. We're gonna steal a bunch of this certified banger. Hopefully they'll hit Yao Guang here and we can just ult right away. No, they really want Ho Ho for some reason. I'm gonna go ahead and skill here. We are like 1 energy off of Yao Guang. I actually don't want to use Ho Ho's yet. I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna Ho Ho ult. Now, because now we actually get the energy for Yao Guang, right? Which is going to be better for us. Now the Aha instant's gonna go off. And I can actually trigger Evanessia's ult here, or activate it or queue it up. Dude, Evanessia's, oh my gosh, her animations are so sick. Straight up aura farming. I feel like there's so many aura farmers in this patch. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. We did almost a mil there. Go ahead and skill with MC. And now we have 679 bangers, so I do think it's actually worth ulting. I'm gonna go ahead and skill first. Now we're at 715. Should dish out a fair bit. Yeah, almost a mil. I wasn't expecting the 0 cycle on this. I think we would need some better light cones and like speed tuning stuff, but I think that's totally fine. We haven't passed our first cycle yet, and we're almost at 50%. God, I love that animation. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nah, it's fine. We actually got the cleanse on Ho Ho, so we're chilling. Got our elation skill off. All right, so we'll basic attack here. We will skill with MC. Kafka's gonna do a silly thing. Blow us up. We're gonna Ho Ho ult again. And this should basically put us way closer to Yao Guang's ult on the next action. And then we can go ahead and make sure we heal up and top off. We have 763 certified bangers, so I'm gonna actually use our ult here in a second. 799. Holy. All right, and now Aha's gonna do his thing. A funny, silly guy. We should be able to ult right after this, but I don't even know that I need to just yet. Oh, Kafka is the only one standing, actually. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna skill, we're gonna Yao Guang. Activate our Aha instant, and then we should be able to get an ult off with, oh, we can actually EMC ult as well, which is going to be huge here. So I'll go ahead and skill on EMC before the cycle turns over. We'll get our elation skill off. Now she's at 9%, so she's basically dead. And because it's a single target, we are gonna do more damage than we had in AoE. We're at 611 certified banger. And boom, that's 1.3 mil, and we almost had enough to do it again. We were like literally 1 energy off. There you go, 1 cycle with Evanescia with a relatively free-to-play friendly setup. We did have the Battle Pass light cone, but as you guys saw, we also were running EMC on the Herta Shop light cone and Ho Ho, who you are able to get for free right now with the Natasha light cone. So I think that's actually pretty good. I think that's a pretty solid run. So overall, my impressions of this character is that she's really, really cool. I am a huge fan. I will be pulling for her. And you know what? I might even pull for her E6 because I'm a slut for pink hair. Anyways, let me tell you about the light cones. So there are 0 light cones in this video game for relation characters. You have Mushy Shroomy, you have Today's Good Luck, which is the Battle Pass one. You have Tomorrow Together, which is the free one that we got. We have the Herta Shop light cone, and we have her signature. Now, her signature is obviously pretty crazy on her. It's gonna get 60% crit damage, which is a 12 elation buff, which is really big by its own just on this light cone, because that's in addition to the regular crit damage that she's gonna be dealing. So don't get me wrong, her elation damage is strong, but she's also dealing like regular regular damage as well. So she is kind of split in that way. Her energy regen is also going to get increased by 10%, and that 10% is going to make a huge difference because of how much energy she is constantly cycling. When her max energy is greater than 120, I mean, it's 480, bro. For every 10 points of max energy that exceeds this amount, further energy regeneration rate goes up by 0.3% up to a max of 360 points of excess, the max energy taken into account. Honestly, this thing is like really ridiculously confusing. Don't even think about that. It just gives her a ridiculous amount of energy, okay? That's all you need to know. When the wearer uses an elation skill, increases the damage received by enemy targets by 15% for 2 turns. So basically, she can apply a vulnerability to them by herself with the Fox, but then she's also applying another vulnerability here with her light cone. Then on top of that, you get the res pen from Yao, and then you also get the mushy shroomy vulnerability as well. So it's like all of these things kind of compound and just make the enemy take like way more damage, and I think it's awesome. But also even better than that, the art's just like super cute. Like, look at that. I love that so much. Overall, obviously her signature is going to be the best, but the battle pass light cone is also okay. The problem with this one is that it's just really hard to not overcap your crit rate. You would have to get like very low crit rate rolls and high crit damage rolls. If you get that, then you can use this one. It does have a higher base attack than the other 4-star light cone options, and it also is going to give her a bunch more elation, which is just really, really nice, especially since the build you're going to be using on her, you're going to be using Punk Lord, which means you do want to get over 80% elation at least at one point during combat to get the 32% crit damage. In addition to that, if you're looking for the best free-to-play cone, you do have Mushy Shroomi's Adventure, which is really good on basically every single elation character. You get elation increased by 20%, which is just massive because it's passively there. It's just always happening. And in addition to that, you can increase the enemy elation damage taken, which is going to be massive because you can just use multiple of these cones and just slap the enemies with a bunch of those debuffs. And then also, if you do have like extra Super Wolf light cones or extra Sparksy light cones, those are also great. I wouldn't really recommend the elation brimmings with blessings because it just doesn't, she doesn't really get much benefit from it at all. Like, yeah, she gets an attack buff. That's basically it. But yeah, overall, I mean, Mushy Shroomy, I just highly recommend this to everyone. I'll have a chart on my actual full guide that'll show you guys a comparison of all of them. But for now, if you're free to play and you don't have many of these options, just Mushy Shroomy, it's the way to go. Now, as for the build that I was using, I did show you already Punk Lord, but we're also using the Everglorious Magical Girl set. Again, just the best elation set right now. It's like the quantum set for elation characters. You just get to ignore target defense, and you also get a crit damage increase. And yeah, it's too good. I'm running crit damage, speed, attack, and energy regen. Technically, you can do physical damage here too, and it's totally fine. I'm just running the attack, and these sets are basically the way you want to go. I don't really recommend running any other way right now. Technically, if you don't have a lot of the Punk Lord set, you can run Izumo because you'll have multiple elation characters, so you will get the benefits of it, but Punk Lord is going to be better. And as for other sets, I mean, I just get this one. Just get it. If you're gonna play elation at all, just farm this one forever. Okay, so it's time for teams now, and I gotta be honest, guys, she's a little cooked, okay? So she's an elation character. She works with other elation characters. So this is the team that I was running in the showcase with Evanescia, Yao Guang, Ho-Ho, and Trailblazer. And the reason I like this team a lot is because it actually is like fairly free-to-play friendly if you have a Yao Guang. And honestly, if you're playing any elation teams at all, I would highly recommend pulling Yao Guang. Like I said before, this is the LeBron James of elation, okay? You need her. Now, technically, you don't actually need her. You can play Evanescia without her. However, you do still want 3 elation characters on your team if possible, because the amount of certified banger that you're getting from your other characters will massively impact the amount of damage that Evanescia is doing. So for that reason, I highly recommend playing another elation character alongside Trailblazer if you can, such as Sparksy, who is also okay in this situation. And then you could also, if you do have all of the premium characters, you could also Yao Guang here. So there's actually a lot of different combinations you can do. Oh, does this character have elation as their main path? Yeah, you can just put them in. Like, it doesn't really matter too much. But I will say that Super Wolf is also all right, but you should probably just be running these two on their own separate teams if you're doing endgame content. That's my opinion on it. Granted, we could still use some more elation characters if we're going to flesh out that roster, but I do really like Evanescia, Yao Guang, and EMC. I think that this gives you a good reason to use EMC, and I actually enjoy the team a lot. But the main thing to know is just that you do want to use Ho-Ho as your healer. That energy that you're going to be able to gain is massive. That is 96 energy to Evanescia when you use her ultimate, and that also means that she's getting 96 certified banger as well. Yeah, I mean, Ho-Ho is too good to pass up in this team specifically. Like, she's already good in like every elation team and any team with Yao Guang, but in this team with Evanescia specifically, you want Ho-Ho, okay? You want Ho-Ho. You need the Fox. Anyways, that's kind of like all the elation. I mean, you just play elation with her. That's it. But there also are other options for that. Is not here. This is what I meant to click on. Tribby does provide some res pen for you, same as Yao Guang, so Tribby is also just decent here. And with E1, also she can work pretty well. Keep in mind that Evanescia is also dealing regular damage in addition to her elation damage too. So some of her damage does get affected by other buffers like Sparkle. Sparkle is going to give you a ton of crit damage, which is going to affect the elation that she has, and you get the action forward, so she gets more actions. So that is all fine and helpful. And then I already mentioned Super Wolf and Sparksy as well. Now, there are a couple of things in her Eidolons. Let me just quickly go over that, but overall, they do provide a lot of value. If you're watching this part of the video, then either you are just really enjoying the video, and if you are, you should like the video and subscribe for more HSR content, but you also might just, you know, happen to be walking by and you open your wallet wallet and $2,000 falls out into Hoyoverse's hands. Well, if that happens, well then enjoy your Eidolons. I'm gonna go over what they do for you, and I'm here to help you out. So E1 is going to give her 20% to all type res pen. That's actually nuts. That's insane. But in addition to that, whenever her fox uses the attack, it'll also trigger an additional elation skill. The elation skill will give her 10 additional certified banger points. Now her elation skill already gives her 5, and then she gets the extra energy from it, so she's already getting 10. So this basically doubles the amount of certified banger she gets, and it also doubles the amount of energy she gets from the elation skill. She will be triggering more elation skills. She'll be getting 20 energy instead of 10. She'll also be getting 20 certified banger instead of 10, and that will help her get more master fox uses every 240 energy, and thus it just cycles and cycles, and so she's basically just getting faster, more frequent ultimates. And it adds damage because of the res pen thing. So yeah, it's just really good. Now E2 is worded in a very strange way. I'm going to make it very simple. I actually took notes on this. Basically, it's going to grant you extra certified banger whenever you trigger one of her traces. Also gives you 36% crit damage, which is crazy. I mean, that's 7 more elation, but it's also 36 crit damage, which is great. But yeah, so here, essentially, the Watch All Revels and Best All Blooms are 2 different ascension traces. The Watch All Revels one is the one where you get the certified banger from your allies. You steal it from them. You're actually getting an additional 50% of what you would have gotten. So let's say an ally gets 40 certified banger, right? And then you take 50% of that, which is 20 certified banger. So you steal that 20. Well, you're actually getting an additional 10 on top of that because you're getting 50% of what you stole. So you would get 30 from the 40 that your ally gained, but they would only lose 20. You would only be stealing the 20. It just spawns in an extra 10. I don't really know why it's worded like that. It's fine. The other one that you're getting is whenever your allies lose certified banger, you get 100% in addition to that. So if your allies lose 20 certified banger one turn, you would normally get 10 of that, but you'll actually get an additional 10. So you'll get the full value that they lose. So basically, anytime your allies are losing anything, you get the full amount of certified banger from them. I promise you, it's not actually that complicated. They just worded it in a way that was like, okay, now I have to leave this menu and go over here and then look at what this says and then remember the exact percent and then remember all that. Yeah, it's not that bad though. E3 is an ultimate basic attack and elation skill up, and then E4 is going to be Evanessia's damage dealt ignores 15% of enemy target defense. This is classic defense ignore, very strong, always good, always on. So, you know, good stuff. Skill intel and elation skill level up, and then E6 is absurd. So let me just try to quantify how absurd this is. So basically, her certified banger is going to last 1 more turn. Yao Guang has a passive that's kind of like this, so the Eidolon will give her this as well. So she will keep her certified banger for 1 turn longer, which is massive. It's going to increase the amount of certified banger you can stack up significantly. In addition to that, elation damage that she does, Mary makes by 15%. This is just a 15% multiplier on top of the damage that is outgoing. So basically, if you do 1,000 damage, you are now doing 1,150 damage, which is pretty dang good. But in addition to that, for every 100 points of certified banger possessed, it gets an additional 2% merrymaking with a max of 1,000. So you can get an additional 20% merrymaking, so a total of 35% more damage. She does 1 million damage, now she's doing 1.35 million damage. That's crazy. That's really, really good. Now, getting up to 1,000, I haven't played E6, so I haven't seen if I'm able to like do that pretty consistently, but I have been able to reach 900 for like 1 turn at a time. So I would imagine that with the extra certified banger extension, you can probably reach 1,000 pretty consistently, but we'll just have to see in gameplay. After I E6'd her on my account. Hoyoverse, if you're watching this, you want to give me E6 Evanescia in 1/10 pull. In addition to that, she also gets 120 energy instantly after using her ultimate in combat, and this can trigger 1 time every 4 ultimates, which you're not gonna have any trouble with. Keep in mind that when you get this energy, that's also going towards getting another Fox Spirit proc. So all of these things will help her cycle more energy. It's not as crazy as like Saber's E6, where you're gonna be ulting like basically on cooldown, and cooldown is like as soon as you use your first ult, you can just do it again. It's not as crazy as that, but it is pretty crazy. And overall, with all of these Eidolons, if you are E6ing, you can expect a massive damage increase. How much exactly? I can't say until the chart's done, but this is it looks like a lot at first glance. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but I guess if you're spending that much money on a character, I would hope that you would get at least that much value. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know by liking and leaving a comment down below about what you enjoyed. Please answer in 5 paragraphs with a clear thesis with 3 points to your thesis. I will also be expecting a works cited page with quotes and everything in between. God, she is so cool, man.